counting down the days until I can get my redemption on Usyk. December the 21st is going to be my time. I've done everything in boxing, but I ain't come back from a loss.
All the doubters, a lot of the journalists were saying that Usyk is now up there with all the legends of the sport. The Muhammad Ali's, the Fraziers, the Foремans, the Joe Louis as being one of the greatest and certainly the greatest of his generation. And I'm pleased they've said that, because when Tyson beats him, no one can debate the fact that he's beat the best of his generation, which will make him the best of his generation.
Can I do any better? I can be more focused, less clowning, and I think that's enough.
The fight that is being dubbed as the rematch between the heavyweight titans is only a few days away, and the Gypsy King appears ready to conquer back his throne and glory that was snatched away from him earlier this year. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the Ukrainian devil, Oleksander Usyk, is also not taking this rematch lightly and has been vigorously training for the last couple of months in hopes of keeping the much-coveted belts and titles under his name this time around as well. Known for his immaculate boxing IQ and unprecedented attributes, Usyk has made his mark in the heavyweight division as one of the most skillful and agile fighters who not only possesses brawn, but also a sense of tranquility that is unusual for a big heavyweight. Being a witness of this recent meticulous training and sparring that the Ukrainian fighter is undergoing in preparation for this rematch, notable analyst and former fighter Derek Chisora stated that Usyk's current routine has gone through countless adjustments and modifications, with him now focusing more on methodical stances and punches to end the fight fast, because after the win in the first fight, he is now much more confident in his abilities to go against a bigger man like Tyson Fury, and wants the fight to end as soon as possible before giving any opportunity to Tyson to retaliate. Derek commented, "When I see what Oleksander is doing, it is totally different to well, because I think Oleksander is more like start fast and finish fast. He knows he can hurt him now, so he's going to come and try and hurt him, as he keeps on saying that I won't leave him alone." However, talking about Tyson's game plan, Derek seems to be a bit skeptical of the whole routine, emphasizing that even though Tyson has been diligently training for the last couple of months, his sparring partners are not really suited for the occasion. Elaborating his point, Derek stated that after looking at the videos that are being shared by Tyson and his team on social media, all the sparring partners that are going against Tyson seem to be holding back and restraining themselves, which in turn is causing Fury to become more relaxed and tranquil, seemingly under the pretense that he might be getting better and better, which is not a good thing, especially knowing the fact that he is going to be the challenger this time for the very first time in his career.
I would love Tyson to win, but right now those odds are not looking great. Do I believe Tyson can beat you, Alexander? I look at everybody he's got in his sparring camp. I personally don't believe that you can actually. The sparring partners he's got right now, they're pushing him to be menace. You know, they are in awe of Tyson. You know, they will pull their punches when they're sparring. you know, they will. This is what I'm seeing from the things I see on Instagram.
Not letting this chance slide to bash Tyson, Derek criticized the Gypsy King for his cocky and self-assured attitude that he portrayed in a recent interview where he made fun of Anthony Joshua by calling him an inadequate fighter and how he had a complete breakdown when he lost all his belts against Usyk. Calling out the irony around the whole thing, Derek advised the fighter to be more humble after he lost his own belts and to take his challengers more seriously no matter their background.
I've worked hard to get those belts, and you lost them to a smaller man. I have to send the
Middleweight.
No, you're gonna have to go send the rubbers. No, I have to send the Lancaster bomber. Yeah. And he was like, yeah. And then suddenly, fast forward later, deja vu. He fucking lost the belts. He lost his belts as well. Do you understand?
Meanwhile, Lennox Lewis, who is a Hall of Fame boxer, renowned as one of the few heavyweights who etched his name in history as the undisputed and unified champion of the world, seems to have close ties with Usyk and has praised him countless times in the past by calling him a promising fighter and world champion. Looking to share the wisdom that he had acquired over the years after facing all sorts of adversaries, Lennox also visited Usyk at his gym during his extensive training camp. After this moment was shared by Usyk on social media, fans and analysts started to speculate the importance of this meeting and how it will have a major impact on the fight night. Having watched both the fighters in action inside the ring, Lennox gave his analysis on the unprecedented skills possessed by them both, stating that even though the fighters have very distinct fighting strategies and stances, they are both very passionate about the game, which at the end of the day is all that matters in a brutal sport like boxing, where at a certain point, every fighter is faced with serious afflictions that are only somewhat manageable if they have an unshakable resolve.
Start with Tyson Fury. Speed.
8.
Power.
8.
Chin.
9.
Heart.
10.
And same with Oleksander Usyk. So
Okay.
speed.
8.
Power.
7.
Chin.
9.
And heart.
10.
Okay.
Even though Lennox is supportive of Usyk in this rematch bout, he seems to have a positive outlook on Fury as well. According to the analysis that Lennox gave in a recent interview, it was evident in the first battle that Tyson didn't give the fight his all and appeared almost nonchalant, which ultimately led to his downfall. Talking about a way to overcome this, Lennox advised him to be more immersed in the challenge at hand. He stated, "I think Fury learned what he needs to do next time because he didn't do enough. He needs to do a lot more. I like him a bit heavier for his fights and not moving around as much." Talking about the tumultuous journey that Tyson has been on for the last couple of years, especially after the near defeat against Deontay Wilder in their first meeting way back in 2018, Lennox remarked that this rematch is not something new for him, and if he pays attention and snaps back to his precious warrior mentality, then he will easily win and conquer this time. Lennox said, he has to conquer his own self first. He's been through these things before, so I think he can do it because he knows what to do. Lennox added, "He's been at lows before and at highs before. He's down here right now. He knows how to get back up here. He just needs to put in the work." With all the advice that he has been bestowed with over the last couple of months after his first ever defeat, it appears as if Tyson might finally be seeing the flaws in his previous game plan, because after looking at the recent statements that fighter had made, it is important to note that this time around we might be looking at a more serious and motivated version of the Gypsy King, who has previously shrouded by an air of superiority and vanity.
Any better? Can I do any better? I can be more focused and less clowning, and I think that's enough. You know, maybe if he chucked that punch hit me with 100 times and maybe not done any damage, but you know, the one time it didn't.
Delving into his strategy for this rematch, Tyson stated that this time around, even though the main framework of his plan is somewhat similar to the previous one that he had when he faced Usyk in May, he is going to make sure that he maintains a steady pace and keeps his offensive in the best condition possible, because that is his biggest weapon, promising that he would not hold out like many fighters tend to do so against a technical fighter like Usyk. Tyson assured his fans that they will get to witness a great fight that will be even more magnificent than the previous one, one. Tyson stated, "Going into the rematch with Usyk, it's going to be the same. I'm going to roll the dice, and it's going to be you or me. Best foot forward and swing away. I've never been afraid to get knocked spark out. I've always put it on the line every time." Issuing a brutal threat while directly addressing Usyk, Tyson emphasized the fact that this time he will not rely on the judges' scorecards and will make sure the fight will end on a more defining note, hinting possibly at a knockout, which at the last fight he was unable to achieve no matter how hard he tried to do so. He added, "There's no secret. I'm going in there to knock you out because I don't think I'm going to make a decision no matter what I do. I don't think I'm going to get a boxing decision, so I'm going to have to take it out of the judges' hands like I did in America that time, and I've got to get him, Usyk, out of there. Hand on heart, I have to get him out of there to see victory." Now, what Tyson might have tried to allude here is the ongoing skepticism surrounding this fight and its split decision result, about how it was rigged from the very beginning due to various political reasons that seem to have favored Usyk at that time, due to his Ukrainian background. Due to this reason from the start, since the rematch was initially announced, Tyson and his team have focused on a stoppage victory by brutal knockouts, because they will not only leave any room for any malpractice or shady decisions, but will also provide Tyson the closure that he has been looking for since he lost his titles way back in May. Not letting this opportunity and rare chance at redemption slide away that easily, Tyson has been in training sessions even before the announcement was made, and had managed to keep most of his training away from public scrutiny, but with only a few days left in the fight, the British fighter had revealed an inside look at this routine, which not only showcases his exceptional skills and power, but after a closer inspection, it is evident that the fighter has grown much bigger and bulkier then, before which, if utilized properly, might be a huge advantage on December 21st.
Hey guys, Tyson Fury here. Back in the gym, as you can see, counting down the days until I can get my redemption on Usyk. December the 21st is going to be my time. I've done everything in boxing, but I ain't come back from a loss. And I relish it, the chance to come back and redeem myself. Get up, December the 21st is all me. Undisputed, here we come.
Being someone who has been a crucial part of this whole camp, Tyson Fury's trainer Sugar Hill gave his analysis and outlook on the alleged growth that Tyson has achieved over the course of the last couple of months. According to Sugar, even though the media and many experts in the industry have been relentless in pursuing the matter about Tyson Fury's defeat and how he should change his whole strategy if he wants a chance at winning, the new game plan that they have established is very precise and good for a fighter like Tyson, who is very ardent about every fight that he has and is aware of the stakes. Sugar commented, "I've seen everything about Tyson, so it's not a change for maybe to those who don't know him, but for me, I know what he's like and I know how competitive he is and how he feels about certain things." Sarcastically reflecting on their supposed past shortcomings, Sugar echoed the same sentiments as Tyson about how this time they will be focusing on getting an earlier knockout because the previous fight was very much in their favor till the end. But the scores in the last two rounds is what really shifted the whole narrative, as it was here when Tyson started to slack off, which gave a clear opening to Usyk to land his shots, which in the eyes of the judges was all that mattered. Sugar added, "One important lesson, don't get caught in the 9th round. I think that's what the scorecards reflect, and obviously I do too. For me, I like knockouts, so I like to see a knockout so we don't have to listen to the scorecards again." Just like his trainer, Tyson's promoter and the owner of Queensberry, Frank Warren, also seems to be hoping for a spectacular victory for Tyson this time around, stating that after the constant myriad of criticism that has been directed towards Fury in the last couple of months, the fighter has only gotten more resolved and determined to garner this win along with all his titles back. Issuing a challenge to the critics, Frank stated that after Tyson wins this fight, he will indeed, due to the tremendous hard work that he has given in the last few weeks, all of them better be prepared to name him as the greatest fighter of this era, a title which he completely deserves.
All the doubters, a lot of the journalists were saying that Usyk is now up there with all the legends of the sport. The Muhammad Alis, the Fraziers, the Foремans, the Joe Lewis as being one of the greatest and certainly the greatest of his generation. And I'm pleased they've said that, because when Tyson beats him, no one can debate the fact that he's beat the best of his generation, which will make him the best of his generation.
Moving on, with less than a month left in the sensational bout between two of the best pound-for-pound heavyweight fighters in the world, hoping to become the next biggest name in boxing history, countless analysts and fellow fighters have shared their takes on the whole event, claiming it to be the greatest fighter of this year. During his interview with ProBox TV, the former world champion and professional fighter, Sean Porter, showed his support for the British fighter in this rematch by citing many aspects that might make Fury stand out in terms of being a better and more lethal fighter. According to Sean, the bigger size and the immaculate control over his movements that Tyson possesses will prove to be very hard for Usyk to deal with, especially in the earlier rounds, because this time Tyson is back with a vengeful motive and he will leave no stone unturned. Sean stated, "I expect him to win this rematch. He's bigger than Usyk, and with that size advantage that he has, he, unlike most fighters, knows how to use that size, that reach, and that speed. I think the whole fight will play out how the first half of the first fight played out. A very focused and determined Fury is a quiet and relentless Fury," warning Tyson to not let his guard down even if he thinks that he is dominating the fight. Sean emphasized the significance of focus and technical skills in fights like these, especially when both fighters are extremely talented and have gained outstanding boxing prowess over their years as professional fighters. Further elaborating on his point, Sean advised Tyson to be confident in his skills and to harness them well in the same manner he used to do when he faced some of his toughest adversaries like the beast Deontay Wilder. Sean stated, "Fury has so many things in his arsenal that make him the dominator in this fight. He has to dominate this fight, and he can't afford to let himself get caught off guard." Talking about past opponents like Deontay Wilder, even the Bronze Bomber jumped at this news about the rematch and gave his take on the entire thing and who might win this time. Considered one of the harshest critics of Fury and one of his most difficult opponents, Deontay is OS of the few people in the boxing community who think that the previous fight should have concluded in a knockout victory for Usyk if the referee at the time had not interrupted the fight and allegedly saved Tyson from it.
The action was, I was on the fence of the fight coming out. I didn't know who was going to win, but, being that he did win, congratulations to him. I think the referee took away a knockout for him. They always trying to save somebody. I'm not going to say who. But, congratulations to Usyk, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Now, even though Deontay has been away from the professional ring for quite some time and has left the race for the major titles and contenders, his insight in fight matters and potential results is still valued to this day by a majority of fans in the boxing community. While sharing his views on this rematch, even though Deontay named Usyk as the winner this time as well, he still left some room for other possibilities as well, because in combat sports like boxing, the results can drastically matter depending on the overall mentality of the fighters with which they are gonna enter the ring. Deontay stated, "The rematch, who knows? It's all about what person brings what dog to the fight. Many times we have good days and we have bad days. You just never know. If I had to pick, I would say Usyk, but let's see what happens." Being a world-class boxing promoter and someone who has a keen eye for making the best matchups in the sport, Eddie Hearn is hoping that Tyson Fury comes out of this fight unscathed and with his titles back, which will allow him to potentially fight Anthony Joshua next in what is being labeled as the Battle of the Britain. However, aware of the astronomical challenge that he has to face in the form of Usyk, Eddie might be having second thoughts.
I've represented Usyk for a long time. I love him, but I want Tyson to win because he's British, and I think it could set up, whatever happens is going to set up a big AJ fight, but for the World Championship would be unbelievable. I think it's very difficult to bet against Usyk when he's beaten you already. I think Tyson can be better. I think obviously with the cut and everything before, probably his build-up wasn't you know, what it should or could be.
Having promoted Usyk in the past, Eddie praised the Ukrainian fighter for his excellent record and fighting skills, which have transformed him into a ruthless machine that can take anyone down in its path, including a beast like Tyson Fury, whom he has fought and defeated just recently.
What can he do differently? Like, I was quite fascinated in the first fight by the fact that Usyk walked him down and beat him up. Like, I thought Fury might come out on the front foot, but then again, that kind of suits Usyk as well. He's a very good counterpuncher. But the fact that he was able to do that, that's why I think it was a remarkable performance. You know, for a 15-stone guy to push back a 20-stone guy and beat him up was very impressive. And I don't know what Fury should do in this fight.
So in the end, what are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you think will win? Make sure to tell us about your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to our channel.